See, I usually would start the show by saying good morning. But good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to twitch.tv/Ice Cream Uploads. My name is Graham Day. I'm joined by the man that we call Baby. How are you doing? Welcome into the channel. Yeah, it's not good morning at all. It's good afternoon. Busy old morning for me and Bib this morning, though. We just spent the last hour on a work call. So apologies for the late start, but work is work. Anyone that has been around here understands that we have an exclusive subscriber remote that tells people that we go live each and every single weekday at 10 a.m. ish. So we go live at 10 a.m. ish. It's now
fucking massive today.
Yeah, I think this is possibly the latest we started in a long time. Yesterday was like 11:45. Today, 12:15. Nice. But anyway, for those of you that are here on Twitch, no doubt a lot of you are out getting lunch or working or doing other bits because we are 2 hours late, but that's fine. That's fine. We understand, but you can watch on demand, so it's fine. If you don't know who we are, my name is Graham Day. This is the man that we call Baby. We are Ice Cream Uploads, and in true Ice Cream fashion, this is The Scoop, your daily dose of news from the world of video games and beyond. We're going to give you our thoughts and our impressions on the biggest, the best, and the breaking stories from the world of video games. We want your thoughts and impressions on our thoughts and impressions. If you are live in the chats, and I say that because we go live on Twitch at 10 a.m. ish, each and every single weekday on twitch.tv/Ice Cream Uploads. If you are live in the chat, please do get involved because we turn this live stream into a podcast, a video that goes on YouTube and an audio podcast that goes on iTunes and Spotify and SoundCloud and Google Play. So lots of people watching and listening on demand, and that's pretty much kind of a given today because everyone's left 2 hours ago. But anyway, lots of people watching and listening on demand. So if you are in the chat, please do get involved on behalf of everyone else that watches and listens on demand later on. We're running out of days for reminders, so you'll get a reminder today. And you'll get a reminder tomorrow, and well, technically you get a reminder on Monday because that'll be the final plug. But we are just a few days away from drawing our loot drop for the month. So the first Monday of the month is our loot drop, and that's the Monday coming. So the Monday coming will be the first Monday that we have in this month, and we will draw our loot drop. The loot drop, for those of you who don't know, is a subscriber only giveaway. So if you're a subscriber on Ice Cream Uploads and you're in our Discord, you get entered into our monthly giveaway. So a way that we give back to subscribers that help fund the channel. Anyway, this month's prize is a choice of 3 games, ! Loot drop. If anyone wants to type that in the chat, if you want any more information, that will give you the info. So make sure you do get involved. If you're watching on YouTube, just check out our pinned tweet on Twitter. You'll see it there. It's in the pinned tweet. We are giving away a choice of 3 games. If you win it, you get to choose. And you don't even have to pay if you've got Twitch Prime. Just drop a Twitch Prime sub on the channel and yourself into the giveaway. Nice. Get the win. Don't even have to sub next month. That's it. Bugger off and just disappear into the sunset with your copy of Super Mario Golf or whatever you choose to play. That's fine. Also, a quick shout out to ! Insert Coin in the chat. We are part of the Insert Coin family, the Coin Army. We will be streaming a few games on their channels over the next few months. I say over the next few months, right through until the end of the year. All of that has been mapped out, and I think maybe even into next year. So make sure you check us out on Insert Coin. Official Insert Coin is their channel. Go drop them a follow. Nice. Who is with us though? Then it's late. Possibly the latest we start the show. Who is with us? Mr. Gagad is. He says, good afternoon, gents. Iceman says tomorrow, 12:30. Kappa, maybe even later. Maybe even later. You never know. Tito says, good evening. Good evening, sir. Enix, Arit, let's go. But yeah, let's jump into some news. That's what we're here for. So let's jump into some news. Before that, actually. You're late, babe. It's not 10 o'clock.
Afternoon.
Exactly. Okay, you might have
I was wondering where this was going then. I had no idea. There was no conversation. There was no teeing up or anything. I was like, just tell the time.
I just thought Bibby's a professional. He realizes that I'm just getting the scene ready kind of thing. He's got to say something. So he told me what time it was.
Well, it was accurate. It was a true fact, Graham.
Well, there you go.
It was a true fact.
That's all we're asking for on this show of facts, so it fits in. Anyway, we are going to take you through 4 stories today. You might have seen the first one. EA is taking shots at Battlefield. At Call of Duty, should I say, with Battlefield. Shots fired, banter. Nintendo's E3 Direct has been confirmed. God of War Ragnarok has been delayed, we can tell you to when. And Days Gone developer Bend Studios is working on a brand new IP. We'll give you all the details on those stories, but we'll start off with this one first. EA has hired Call of Duty's general manager to lead the Battlefield franchise. Woof, what a poach. Tom Ivan at VGC says Byron Bede spent over a decade at Activision Blizzard. So Electronic Arts has reportedly appointed Call of Duty's general manager to head up Battlefield, its in-house rival to Activision's military FPS franchise. According to IGN, Byron Bede has joined EA as Battlefield SVP and GM. EA said the move signals a strategic long-term commitment to the growth of the franchise. According to his LinkedIn profile, Bede, pictured in the article, was Marvel's director of global brand management prior to joining Activision Blizzard, where he's still listed as working in 2009. Bede held various roles at Activision, including executive vice president and general manager of Destiny, and most recently, the same position for the Call of Duty franchise. During his time overseeing Call of Duty, Activision launched free-to-play series entries Call of Duty Mobile in November 2019 and Warzone in March 2020. The former has been downloaded over 500 million times, and the latter has attracted over 100 million players. Bede will reportedly will report directly to Respawn founder and DICE LA head Vince Zampella. EA confirmed on Tuesday that it will reveal the next Battlefield game on June the 9th, ahead of its release for consoles and PC this holiday season. A low-quality version of what is claimed to be a Battlefield trailer intended for internal use seemingly leaked in full last week, which I did cover. And series creator DICE announced in April that it's also developing a standalone Battlefield mobile game for release in 2022. That's fine. We'll stop there. But shots fired. Battlefield and EA poaching from Call of Duty. I mean, if there's a game that's nailing it right now in the FPS space, it's Call of Duty. Warzone has absolutely been setting the world on fire. Call of Duty Mobile is killing it. And Byron Bede has been involved in both of those. So if there's someone that you want to poach, it's not a bad start. Is that a good move from EA? What are you thinking, babe?
Yes, I do think it's a good move, but can lightning strike twice, Graham? The same person who's helped lead Call of Duty into world domination of the FPS franchise going to be able to do it again with Battlefield. And that's no disrespect to Battlefield. Battlefield is a fantastic franchise and it has been for the longest time. But I think it has been in second place for such a long time now, probably since Battlefield 4. That was, I think, the last big one I think that people were super excited about. And believe it or not, it's actually free. It's given away free. If you are watching this on Twitch and you have a Twitch Prime, it is part of your Prime loot this month. So go ahead and get that if you haven't already played it. It's a fantastic game. But the last big one, in my opinion, was Battlefield 4, and it's been in second place ever since. So if you're trying to get someone to lead you in a new direction or a direction to try and get that number one spot again, this gentleman is probably a very surefire bet in trying to bridge the gap between them. Will it actually happen? This will not be an overnight success, by the way. This will not propel them into bigger and better things. It's going to take a while. If you've got someone in this high position, he will need to speak to all the staff, probably change direction in the way that their socials was potentially going to announce the new Battlefield. There could be so many other things at play here. It isn't just one person who's just going to click his fingers and then that's it. Everything's going to be different. We'll have to speak to each of the marketing department, maybe the developers, maybe the people, no pun intended, but the boots on the ground.
Hey.
Are trying to get this game out there in one way or another. The whole direction is going to change. So whether or not that happens right away or it's going to take 1 or 2 years, not entirely sure. But again, a massive step in the right direction for Battlefield, who I don't want to say this is going to be make or break for them, but I feel like this has to bang for them. It feels like it's been a long time since we've seen a Battlefield game take the world by storm. Firestorm was a mockery of a battle royale. Didn't last very long, whereas Warzone's gone into bigger, better things. Mobile version of Call of Duty Warzone gone into bigger and better things. So yeah, if they've got a mobile version of Battlefield coming out, like it's mentioned in the article, again, he's going to have a little inkling as to what makes that a good game. They've got a long way to go.
Mr. Gary Clark, thank you for staying frosty. Perfectly timed. We're talking about Call of Duty and shots fired, and you hear the illustrious sounds of Ghost from the COD franchise shouting "Stay frosty, yeah" on the mic as Gary subs for 9 months in a row. That's his Twitch baby. We've had a baby. Mr. Gallic Clark. And there we go. Iceman in the chat with the Gallic Clark, just as I mentioned it. We got a Twitch baby. Gary, thank you very much for the 7 month in a row, 9 month in total. So we appreciate you. Thank you very much. I also appreciate your help with my IKEA purchase yesterday. What a guy. Giving me the information. I mean, this guy, 3 o'clock in the morning, sending me pictures of tabletops. That's the magic. That's the magic. So there you go.
Shaggy's in the chat.
Bibby's shirt is effing mint, by the way, says Gary. And Asim, where's it gone? It's scrolled off. Says that t-shirt, Bibby, chef's kiss. It's pretty good. I mean,
I say you've got a lot more of these babies. As long as the weather stays nice outside, you're going to continue to see. I've got a lot to go through, so keep your eyes open.
Once again, disappointed. 2 days in a row wearing a PUBG t-shirt and nobody cares. I have my PUBG Downland t-shirt. I've got my plain grey, so maybe that's the issue. The fact that it's just plain grey and it's got a little pan on the sleeve. This one I was actually given from PUBG/Sega because me and Bibby took part in the Chicken for Charity. Was it this year or last year? When was it? I can't remember now. Was it last year?
It was last year. It might have been the year before.
Oh, no, it was last year because it was... when we were in the office, because we got the stuff sent to the office. It was like September, October last year-ish.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, I got this t-shirt from PUBG Corp for taking part in Chicken for Charity. So there you go. Nice. But nobody cares about that because people's got flowers. Yeah, whatever. I'm not even jealous or anything. Whatever you screw you, whatever, mate. Anyway, happy PUBG Patch Day, by the way. Thank you very much. Happy PUBG Patch Day. Back into the news. Battlefield versus COD. Shots fired. If you are just dropping in, Byron Bede, who Mr. T says, where's it gone? Sounds like a porn star name. It does. Tito says COD Boss Box. Exactly.
You fucking nailed that one, didn't
it? I mean, it's COD just doesn't have the sound in it. That's the issue. It's the X Boss. Oh, fucked it up as well. Xbox Boss. It's the stuff. That's the tongue twister. So COD Boss is fine. So yeah. So yeah, if you missed it, Byron Bede was the GM at Call of Duty. So he oversaw the likes of COD Warzone and COD Mobile and the last few years of COD. And before that, he worked at Marvel. And if I don't know what his position was at that, but let's say he was involved in the films. So if that is the case, this guy has worked on possibly the most, maybe not the most. Someone would probably come with some sort of left field example. What's the word I'm looking for? I was going to say the most intricate cinematic series that has films from different areas, different times, different actors, different stories that all overlap and interweave. Someone's probably going to go, actually, you've not seen the Dreamweaver series that's got 17 films, or whatever. Okay, maybe there's something else. But from blockbuster levels, which is what we're talking about here, both in films and video game, if this guy was involved in any way, shape, or form with the Marvel Cinematic Universe, delivering consistent content that gets better and keeps users hooked, then switching over to video games and absolutely deploying that. In his time, Call of Duty went from being episodic, 1 year, boom, 1 year, boom, 1 year, boom. A little bit of this, a little bit of that, and a little bit of the other one. We'll get a game from Activision, we'll get a game from Infinity Ward, we'll get one from Sledgehammer, and we'll get one from Treyarch. And it'll all mix up, one, that's it. They've gone to still having that, but giving us something that maintains that linchpin, that anchor in the middle in Warzone that keeps people hooked. So, I mean, people mentioned, can he do it again? Not that he's single-handedly delivered that on Warzone, and not that he's single-handedly delivered the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but he at least has overseen or been involved in that. So maybe you can't do the same thing again, but that is an overwhelming amount of experience that Battlefield needs, because we can all talk about amazing periods in Battlefield's history, games or just instances within games or periods where it's been exceptional. But can anyone think of Battlefield in their mind in a way where it's always there? So the Marvel Cinematic Universe, yes, I know it's not always there, but you get 3 months-ish until the next film comes out, 6 months-ish, but then there's trailers and there's content and there's interviews and then there's the video release, or it comes to TV, and there's always something moving it forward. Same thing with Warzone now, always something. Battlefield has been very staccato. Stop, start, what a word. I'm taking that word for the day, staccato. Stop, start, stop, start, stop, start. So if he comes in and he can bring in that consistency, that high level blockbuster, because Battlefield is blockbuster, there's no escaping that.
Yeah,
it's just staccato. It stops and starts. And if he can bring in that consistency, then that would be an absolutely huge, huge acquisition.
Agreed. I agree.
He made the tea and hand out the custard creams at Marvel. Maybe he did. Maybe he did. But he did that with consistency. God damn it.
Yeah. It's an important job. It's an important role in a company, that.
Absolutely is. I mean, you've got to keep people beveraged. I mean, hydration is not something to be mocked. I mean, that's why Twitch channels always have a take a drink sort of things in the chat with the channel points, because it's important. You've got to keep it up. Seems like all the brands he's managed, he's good at keeping them at the forefront of people's minds. And that's it. I mean, that's what Battlefield needs. If I said to you, yeah, actually, I'm talking about it. Look at my pad. There you go. Battlefield 3. That's the pad that I'm writing in. So Battlefield, if I said to you, do you enjoy that game? Some people will say no, but a lot of people that are into FPSs will be like, okay, Battlefield, when it's good, is exceptionally good. And that's it. It's when it's good. I enjoyed it. More often than not, when you're talking about Battlefield, you're talking about enjoyed, past tense, because it's not right now. Yeah, don't get me wrong. When it comes out, it's right now, but then that stops. And then you have a long period of time until the next one comes along. So this guy, if he can do that, if he can posture check. Okay, I'll say if he can propel the game to being in your mind for a longer period of time, then that's exactly what Battlefield need. And that's not just a case of, oh, look at this, it's relevant again, yeah, make it relevant. No, if he actually makes it relevant, rather than wills it to be relevant and talks it into relevancy, okay, that's just marketing. But if he can bring product insights and knowledge, I mean, look at the. It's easy to point the finger and go, oh, it's another battle royale, great. But look at how well Warzone has done for Call of Duty. It's great gameplay, fine.
Yeah.
It's battle royale, which is easy drop in and viewer friendly, fine. But loads of battle royales have been and gone and failed. They've done that with content, with a good money opt-in plan. So you can spend money, but you don't have to spend money. And if you do spend money, you get good content back for it, not pajama parties. Fuck that shit. But you get John McClane, you get Rambo and stuff now. And they've done it in a really good way that's not too... You have to spend money, only because there's no hydrate alpha. I appreciate it. I'll put a hydrate one on and then just link it to alcohol. For Bibby. Bibby, down a Cronenberg, 1664, hey, boom. Bibby's dead.
Fine by me. In 10 minutes' time, you might see me like that. It's fine. I can do that.
We'll get it set up. But yeah, big move. I see this. I can't see any negatives for EA on this, because Battlefield is an exceptional game. Has been an exceptional game, and it should be an exceptional game. It has to change, though. Like, having those good experiences that are nice and then drop off, that's not the world that we play games in anymore. People want a level of consistency and continuity. I'm not saying that it should be an always online MMORPG. Battlefield is not that. But it does need to modernise if it wants to still be Battlefield in 10 years' time. And by bringing someone that's overseen the best in the biz right now, then that's a good shout. It's a good shout. Anyway, talking about best in the biz, what the fuck? Why does chat just say fuck? Did you do that?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
There will be... we'll be turning that into a meme now, baby. Oh, there we go. I was like, why? I thought genuinely someone had hacked us. Why is chat just typing fuck?
Well, then the Discord link fucked up comes up afterwards. So
yeah, there you go.
By the rules.
Discord.gg/fucked up. I mean, the day when we become Discord partners and verified and stuff like that will be heartbreaking, because we will lose Discord.gg/fucked up and just get ICU or whatever. Heartbreaking. Anyway, let's move ahead. So, as mentioned, talking about the best in the biz right now. I mean, some people might not be interested in Nintendo, but you would be hard pushed to find a good reason to say they are not the best in the biz right now. And that, I mean, obviously 2021 has been their year. 2020 was their year. Obviously, you can argue, fine. But 2021 and maybe 2022 could also be their year as well, as Nintendo's E3 Direct is confirmed for June the 15th. Andy Robinson at VGC has this article, and it says that 40 minutes of info promised focuses on Switch games, mostly releasing this year. Nintendo has confirmed its E3 Nintendo Direct will take place on Tuesday, June 15th. The 40-minute live stream stream will start at 6 p.m. CEST, which I believe is 5 p.m. for us. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. Jude Cuss, thank you very much for the follow. Good morning, afternoon even. Welcome into the stream. We started later than usual. It's fine. Keep going. So the stream will start at 6 p.m. CEST, which I believe is 5 p.m. BST, and focuses on Nintendo Switch software mostly releasing this year, the company said. Immediately after the Nintendo Direct, the company will stream roughly 3 hours of deep dives on gameplay for a handful of Switch games, include in Nintendo Treehouse Live. According to a Bloomberg report published last week, Nintendo is planning to announce new Switch hardware ahead of the main E3 show, which takes place from June the 12th to June the 15th, giving developers room to showcase games for the system at the all-digital show. So far, the company has only two 2021 non-Pokemon first-party releases publicly announced: Mario Golf Super Rush, which we're giving away, ! Loot drop, by the way, and The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD, which are both planned for release in June. The Pokemon Company, do you know what? We can stop there. We don't need to go back to the Pokemon Company and stuff. We've done all of that stuff before. Let's stick with the project at hand. Nintendo E3 2021 has been confirmed Tuesday, 15th of June. 5 p.m.-ish, I believe, UK time. Bib, thoughts?
We're covering this, aren't we?
Yes.
Thank fuck for that. Yes, I can't wait to see more of Mario Golf. I can't wait to see the 40 minutes is a long time. So hopefully we'll get to see quite a lot of what's going to be coming. I imagine we're going to see more Splatoon and shit like that as well, which I have zero interest in. But yeah, it's going to be mad. 40 minutes. I hope it's not. Do you think that we're going to see some Pokemon stuff in this, or do you think that they're actually going to save the Pokemon stuff for a Pokemon Direct?
I think we could see Pokemon stuff. With this being E3 Direct, so it's not Nintendo Treehouse that's themed for something specific. It's just called Nintendo E3 2021. I feel like we could get a bit of everything. This is the one where the world looks. I mean, don't get me wrong. The world looks at all of the Nintendo ones anyway because there's been nothing else to look at for the past 24 months. But still, this is the one where the non-games media looks. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get some Pokemon stuff in there. If we get, obviously, we're going to have Mario bits in there with Mario Golf. Do we see extra Mario content in there? Maybe. We'll definitely have the Zelda stuff. I do think the interesting thing though for me is the rumors that we had last week. So according to a Bloomberg report published last week, Nintendo is planning to announce a new Switch hardware ahead of the main E3 show, which takes place from June the 12th to June the 15th. So if that's going to happen before the E3 show, which takes place until June the 15th, and the Nintendo Direct is taking place on June the 15th, that means we are having something, we're having two bits. Do we think that's the case now? That's the thing I'm not sure of, because if it comes before the show, that makes sense. Because if I'm Ubisoft and I've got a new Rayman Rabbids game kind of thing coming out on the Switch, don't know why, when I say Ubisoft and Switch, I instantly go to Rabbids, but there you go. So if I'm Ubisoft and I've got a new Rabbids game coming for the Switch, I want to talk about that at E3. And Ubisoft, their conference is on Saturday, the 12th. So if the Switch Pro hasn't been announced and that's what they're developing it for, they can't talk about that yet. So are we gonna, this either means we see something before E3 and we get to see the Switch Pro. More details on the 15th. And then we get some games trickled out that Nintendo reaffirm on the 15th, or we get nothing before, nobody mentions any Switch Pro games in any of their conferences, and then Nintendo talks about it after everyone else. Which one do you think it is? Which one would you prefer it to be?
I don't know, because do you think they could give it away too soon?
I don't know. I mean, if I would like to see
surely you talk about your console first and then what games can be coming afterwards. Surely that's the most logical way of doing it.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on they could do a reveal and just give the basics. Brand new Switch Pro, 7-inch screen, 4K this, that, and the other. More details coming on our Direct on June the 15th. Stay tuned for more video game announcements in the meantime. So as long as you say what it is roughly, they could do that before. It's just whether they do. Because that's almost like, that's the Steve Jobs. And what's this in my pocket? It's the actual iPhone I've been talking about. Whipping it out in front of people.
Like,
but if you've done that before
I
the
feel
show...
like it needs to it needs to be a grand stage stuff, doesn't it? It needs to be like, imagine if they just turn the tables on this, and the 40 minutes was literally them just talking about the Switch Pro, and then go, "Oh my God, Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild 2 running on the new Switch Pro." Poof, Let's Go Dark comes up on the screen, and then it just looks obviously as good as you want it to look on a Switch Pro. And then they've got a brand new Mario game coming out, Blur, and then it's fucking great. And then Splatoon 2 comes on, and then it's because of the art style, it looks great, it moves a lot better, 60 FPS, blah, blah, blah. All of this stuff should come after the console's been announced rather than the other way around. But it's Nintendo are a funny bunch. You literally can't call it. It's like a Pep Guardiola formation. You never know what the fuck you're gonna get. It's a lucky dip.
I mean, we're absolutely getting a defensive
midfielder.
Absolutely getting a defensive midfielder. Absolutely getting a defensive... Okay, the big stage. What the fuck's the defensive midfielder? What the fuck?
Yeah, you expect Rodri or Fernandinho, and you get fuck all in return, apart from a massive gap in your midfield. But anyway, they're a funny bunch, and you genuinely don't know what you're going to get. But for me, what makes sense probably isn't going to what's happened. For me, it should be the console linking in with the new games, and that's what the 40 minutes should be. Like, spend 15 minutes talking about the console or what it's capable of, and then you see the games. That'll be fantastic. That is the conference that I think people will want. I can't see it happening though.
I mean, it does. If it works that way, then we will not see Rabbids in the Ubisoft conference. We will not see a Microsoft announcement working Game Pass on the new Switch Pro in their conference, because the Pro won't be announced till June the 15th. By that point, we've had Ubisoft forward. We've had the Xbox and Bethesda showcase. So there's not going to be any Bethesda content coming to the Switch Pro or anything in that sort of period. They might get Switch stuff, but not Pro stuff, unless we get Ubisoft... I mean, apologies to keep saying Rabbids. I'm going to stick with it now, though. But Ubisoft announced the new Rabbids game coming to the Switch, and they just leave it at that. Maybe then on the 15th, that's when Nintendo go, and we'd like to welcome out Yves Guillemot from Ubisoft to talk about the new Rabbids game that's coming to the Switch, which is also enhanced for the Switch Pro. Maybe we get that sort of stuff. We could do. Either way, there's a lot of potential for how this could go. But it seems like we've got potential for a good E3. I mean, overall, let alone just for Nintendo. A good E3, good overall, but for Nintendo, we've got the potential conversations for new Splatoon, some Mario content. Obviously, we'll see some Mario Golf stuff. Do we see any additional Mario games? Some Zelda stuff, which the world will be crying out for. And then, I mean, what else? What would you guys like to see in the Nintendo conference? Golden Goose, good morning, says, announce the herbs, Sims in the City 2. Yeah, there you go.
I was just about to say then, like, is there a Mario game, a really obvious Mario game that hasn't been remastered yet? Like, I know, was Mario 64, was that part of the new Mario collection, the Mario trilogy that you could have got? I genuinely can't remember, but I feel like there's a Mario game that we're completely missing that hasn't been redone yet. Like, they're going to make a new Super Mario Brothers world. Like, that'll be pretty cool now, just to go back to that kind of thing. No Mario game was remastered.
Yeah, there you go. So, I mean, maybe there's a reason for that. Maybe they're never going to remaster them anyway, just so they can keep repeddling them potentially. A direct that I won't be watching because I'm on holiday and likely won't have a decent internet connection, says Iceman. Don't worry, we'll put it on YouTube so you can watch it back on demand. Got you. We got you. Despite the heavy implication that it is a general direct for 2021 releases, you'll get those who will moan that there wasn't enough on Legends Arceus. I mean, that is the thing with Nintendo directs. Whilst the Nintendo community is a really nice, friendly family community, they are very, very negative towards any Nintendo Direct. Whatever Nintendo Direct it is, it's not the right one. That's Pokemon. It didn't mention Legend of Zelda. It was Pokemon. It was a Pokemon Direct. Oh, okay, nice. Yeah, but it still didn't mention Legend of Zelda. Fuck's sake. Okay, it's a general Nintendo Direct. There wasn't enough of this one specific title because it was general. So yeah, whatever it is, it's gonna be wrong. It's gonna be wrong. Yeah, it is in the collection, but it's the same game. Galaxy 2 wasn't included, weirdly. Maybe we actually see a new Mario Kart game because we've had the same one for 20,000 years now. It's like GTA 5. just the game just keeps on coming. Maybe. Getting ready to re-release it with 0 upgrades. Well, yeah, there you go. That's a Nintendo thing. Make the money without doing the work. Nice. Asim says, give me F-Zero, please. I'd take an F-Zero. I mean, I won't play it much. I would play it and go, oh, nice, nostalgia, and then I put it down because racing games just don't do it for me anymore. But spent many days playing F-Zero. Gary says, I want a new 3D Mario. Odyssey was incredible. Iceman says, it's indie, but where's Mario, Zelda / Pokemon? Yeah, exactly. That's it. It's indie, which tells you specifically that it's not the big titles, but people don't read, people don't understand. I mean, it is interesting though because we've tried to build excitement whilst simultaneously tempering expectations for the last few directs because they have been indie direct, they have been Pokemon Direct or whatever. Now we just have E3 2021. The potential for that is pretty exciting. We haven't had something that's been that big. I mean, it's 40 minutes as well. There's a lot of potential for content. There's a lot of potential for disappointment and rabbling as well, but still, it could be good. It could be good. We will let you know whichever way it goes. We'll cover it live. Don't worry, we got you. We don't know if Switch Pro will be brand new upgraded hardware or just slightly updated Switch. Hope it's the first option, like the new 3DS. Where was the other one? Someone said, I think Gary says, imagine if Nintendo trolled us with a Switch Lite. Imagine if that's what it was.
No. It's in the shape of a 3DS.
I mean,
collapsible screen.
Yeah, you've got the Switch Lite that we had before, but now you can take the Joy-Cons off, so it's a thin Switch. Fuck's sake. I always look at Directs with interest and never moan about them, mainly because the Switch is the first Nintendo home console I've had since the SNES. Yeah, I mean, I'm not heavily invested in my Switch, so I just look at Nintendo Directs as, oh, this is nice, which is probably a bit of a shitty comment, really. It doesn't tend to move the needle for me either way. I don't get disappointed because I wasn't particularly expecting, but because I'm not expecting, it doesn't particularly excite me either. So yeah, I'm kind of.
What's everyone's expectations though? That's something that I don't genuinely know. Because like us, like when me and you are covering it, I think I would like to think that our expectations are. It's essentially mine are usually nothing. I'm just happy to be. I'm just excited to see what happens. I'm not expecting the world. I'm not expecting it to be a full-on masterpiece. Do you know what I mean? Like it's hitting everybody at every single note. But I'm just generally, what's everyone's expectations like? Are you going to be bitterly disappointed if a certain game doesn't get shown? Are you expecting something to be definitively there? And if it's not shown for longer than 2 minutes, is that the worst show ever?
I think
because there's been shows that we've covered, and I've actually really enjoyed the show. But then you go on social media and people are fucking irritated and they're fuming that something didn't get announced. It's kind of like, but the show was good. Like, if your expectation is just on one thing,
I think me and you are kind of aligned with a lot of people in the chat in that respect. In the fact that we are here for the celebration, not just the games. So we enjoy the conferences and the Halo one. We watched and it was like, that's a decent enough show, but people just focused on the fact that yes, Halo didn't look good enough. Even Jordan was saying it when we were on watching that Halo Infinite announce. But it was still a good show. But people don't see that. People, sadly, in video games are the best way to get traction around these live watch-alongs, because everyone's doing the live watch-alongs now, is to stir up some controversy. Oh, that's what people go, what did I miss? And that's it, people go for it. But if you go, that was pretty cool, everyone else that's going, yeah, that was pretty cool, I know it's cool, so I saw it. So the way to get clicks is to be negative as shit. So we tend to watch it and enjoy the experience. Yeah, fair enough, it might be a case of there's not many games in there that I'd play, like even the PlayStation one last summer, the State of Play, and there was like 15, 20 titles announced, and we were like, okay, that was a really good show. Probably only 3 games I'm going to play, but it could still be a good show, even though the content doesn't resonate with you. But that's just what we get here. That's what we get. Remember, Graham, we was there when Craig became the meme. Exactly. Well, that's the point, though. We still enjoyed the show, but people are quite akin to just jumping on the memes now. Because memes is content, and content is clicks, and clicks is king, whereas we are about better quality content. So we're better than everyone else on the internet, basically, is what I'm saying. Facts. Pen drop. Yeah.
I mean, Iceman makes some very good points. He says they can fuck off if they think they're doing the same BS with the games that they did with the new 3DS. That will be the same. That will be some top tier BS. And also, if I have to buy the new Switch to play, for example, the new Breath of the Wild 2, then they can fuck right off. I mean, I know this is completely irrelevant, but it's something that I seen yesterday, and it's probably something that we'll move on to when we get into the PlayStation story. But there is no way that anyone seriously thought that the Gran Turismo 7 was only going to be a next gen console. Like that would be, we've said it many times on this show, that would be you're missing out on 120 million consoles. Like these games for the next 2 years are going to be coming out on both consoles. There's no way that they're going to miss 120 million potential sales of these games. So I imagine Breath of the Wild 2 it has to come out on the normal Switch. It can't just be a Pro exclusive. There is no way.
The thing is,
there's genuinely no way.
How long it took Nintendo to get an install base for the Switch as well. And not that it was the longest thing ever, but it was definitely a slow start, and then it boomed. You couldn't get Switch for them anyway. They wouldn't want that risk again with okay, we've just taken over the world, let's fuck it off. It's like, no, it's like you've got the world, use it. So yeah, I can't see that. I can't see that.
Yeah, I mean, the Switch is 4 years old. No, 5 years old now, and the world went crazy for Animal Crossing during COVID last year, and that's where who'd have thought 4 years after the fact that you'd have a drought on a particular console, considering it had been out for 4 years prior. So yeah, I agree. There's no way that this isn't going to come out, or any of the games in the next 2 years, at least 3, even with the Switch Pro coming out. It may just be a lot more playable, and maybe
the enhanced for Xbox Series X or whatever, that sort of stuff. Enhanced for Switch Pro or whatever it's going to be, or the Switch Lite Mini Slim, as Tito says. Exactly, Switch Lite Mini Slim, just like one of those Nintendo, what they call Play and Goes or whatever they called, the little I can't remember what it's called now. Anyway, you know what I mean. Anyway, Jordan, his predictions might be reaching a little bit. Pokemon, Metroid, new Mario and Mario Kart, and a Switch Pro in one conference. If they did that, they would win E3, which is a phrase I don't like, but they absolutely would do. At least from Nintendo fans. I mean, they wouldn't really speak to me that much, but yeah, we'll take that. Just my guess.
That would be amazing. Never going to happen.
No, imagine. That seems probably closer to home, though. Probably another 25 million characters for Smash Brothers. Potentially. Tito says, Nintendo, a brand I've never been engaged with, never got into their games or consoles. Can't explain why. They were like my first console accidentally. I wanted a Sega Mega Drive, and my dad bought me a NES, which was fun. I mean, it wasn't fun, it was gutting. Yeah. But I mean, I'd played other bits before. I played Ataris and I played Commodores and stuff that like uncles and aunties and stuff had owned, but my first was a NES. Then I went to a SNES, and then I've had a 64. I think we've actually got one in the loft, but I was off of after the SNES. I went away from Nintendo. I didn't really go back, and it's kind of been the same since. Like I wanted the I don't know. I don't want to use the word mature or whatever, but I wanted the non-family friendly sort of games. I wanted violence and football and sports and stuff like that. So what would have been traditionally the boys' games, which obviously they're not boys' games, but that sort of route is where I went down, which is why I kind of went away from Nintendo, which is why I'm open to them, but they don't necessarily command my attention to begin with. With Nintendo, I've never really got expectations, as you either get everything or they announce a new colour Switch in a partnership with McDonald's. Touche. Of course they won't do that. Source have already said it's a pro model. Yeah, I doubt it'd be like some new-ish stuff. But then again, sources have been wrong in the past, so we will see. We will see. I think expectations should be tempered, especially given COVID times. I get the excitement, hype, and expectation /wants, but genuinely, this last year has probably pushed plans of most devs /pubs back a bit. Yeah, that's true. That's true. That said, the PS4 Pro, the Switch Pro announcement on its own could be enough to make the show exciting to that level, let alone if there is any games to throw in with that. So I think it could still be a massively exciting show. Maybe not to the level of Jordan's meme list of all of the games, but it could still be exciting either way. No games will be pro exclusive. They know that would be a disaster if they did that. Exactly. Wes says NES for the win. Much better than Sega. I wanted a Sega Mega Drive. I was at my cousin's house playing his Sega Mega Drive. I asked my dad for a Sega Mega Drive for Christmas. This was when the Sega Mega Drive and the SNES had come out, and I got a NES. I was gutted. I mean, it was good because I meant to go back and play. I got to go back and play Duck Hunt and things with David, but. My mate was like, "Oh, I've got Street Fighter if you want to borrow it. It works on your console." I was like, "Yeah." And then he came around with a SNES cartridge, which absolutely does not work on a NES console. Gutted. So, and I was massively into Street Fighter back then. So, yeah, fun times. Nice. Cheers, Dad. It's all right. Didn't take it personally or anything. Anyway, moving ahead. Matt Wales at Eurogamer says, God of War Ragnarok delayed into next year. Now confirmed for release on PS4, which is kind of what Bibby was talking about before. And Gran Turismo 7 is coming to PS4 too. This is bullshit. Why the fuck are they releasing games for more people to be able to play and for them to earn more profit? Not interested. I have a PS5, so fuck everyone else and their profits and their wants and their needs. That's it. Conversation done. Don't even need to speak about that article anymore. Now that is the opinion of the internet whoppers. Let's jump back into the article and finish it off though. Once again, Matt Wales at Eurogamer says, God of War Ragnarok, which originally announced as a PS5 release in 2021, has been delayed into next year and will now also launch on the PS4. Confirming the news on Twitter, developer Sony Santa Monica Studio explained it had made the decision to push God of War Ragnarok's release back into 2022 in order to maintain the safety and well-being of its team. Little round of applause there, nice. Since the release of the next God of War teaser last year, the full statement reads, "We've been humbled by the amount of love our community has shown us. We're incredibly grateful to see so many people excited to experience the next chapter of Kratos and Atreus' journey. We remain focused on delivering..." Actually, let me hit play on the teaser. "We remain focused on delivering a top quality game while maintaining the safety and well-being of our team, creative partners, and families," the developer continues. "With this in mind, we've made the decision to shift our release window to 2022. In addition to God of War Ragnarok's revised date, Sony has confirmed the game will be a cross-gen title, as will eagerly awaited PS5 racing sim Gran Turismo 7, and will be making its way to PS4 alongside the previously announced PS5 version. Herman Hulst, head of PlayStation Studios, shared the news as part of an interview on the PlayStation blog. Quote, "Where it makes sense to develop a title for both PS4 and PS5 for Horizon Forbidden West, the next God of War, Gran Turismo 7, we'll continue looking at that," he explained. "And if PS4 owners want to play the game, then they can. If they want to go on and play the PS5 version, that game will be there for them." God of War Ragnarok is the second of Sony's big first-party 2021 releases to be pushed back into next year. A delay for Gran Turismo 7, blamed on COVID-related production challenges, was announced in February. According to Holst, it's currently unclear if Horizon Forbidden West will meet a similar fate. For Horizon, he revealed, "We think we're on track to release this holiday season, but that isn't quite certain yet, and we're working as hard as we can to confirm that to you as soon as we can." So there you go. Absolute lettuces of the world with their PS4s, making it bad for all of us PS5 people. No, not bad news at all. If you don't know what I'm on about, basically, games that are supposed to be exclusive for PS5s, the developers realise, actually, we can make this available on the PS4 as well, which then makes people think that game is now shit because it's a last-gen game playing on next-gen consoles, which is not the case, but there you go. Anyway, what we do know is that next gen game is going to be available on last gen 2, as is GT7. Gran Turismo 7, God of War Ragnarok, both delayed, both coming out next year, and both on the PS4 as well as the PS5. Bib, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, for me, it just sounds like willy waving. It is. I've got a PlayStation 5. Give me everything that I want. You are going to get that, pal. You're going to get that. It's just that they're going to make another version of the game that may not have the power of the SSD on the graphics card or the CPU and everything else that you've got on your PlayStation 5. Just so more people can play it on the last gen console. They are not going to make your game any worse. And I think it's so people are just hanging on every word that Jim Ryan obviously stated when he's talking about next gen consoles. Just you'll be fine. You are going to be able to play these games. Why would you not want anybody else to play these games just because you've got a PlayStation 5? Or, yeah, you got a PlayStation 5, it's fine. I was going to mention the Xbox then, but obviously they do the backwards compatibility and all the other shit that goes along with it, the technical advances. But Horizon Forbidden West, God of War, and Gran Turismo 7, those are massive games. Like, Gran Turismo series has been going since the dawn of time. Like, Horizon, now going to be a franchise, is one of the biggest franchises that's come out of the PlayStation 4. You got God of War, probably one of the best games of the PlayStation 4 generation. You get sequels to both of those games. What makes you think that just because you have a PlayStation 5, you're the only person that's entitled to have these games? They're going to be making 2 versions of these games. They're going to make the PlayStation 5 one with all the bells and whistles. They're just going to make it playable on the PlayStation 4. It's exactly the same as what you'd expect from the Nintendo Switch Pro when that eventually comes out. They're going to make the game all bells and whistles, fully immersed and 60 frames and whatever the fuck on your brand spanking new console, but they're just going to make it playable for everybody else. And I genuinely don't understand why people would not want that. But again, it just comes down to willy waving, and I've got PlayStation 5, you don't, therefore I should get the best of the best of the best, and you just have to suffer until you get a PlayStation 5. It fucking blows my mind.
And I've got a
people out there
PS5.
that do
I
that.
should get the best of the best, and you should just get nothing, because all you do is get in the way of me and my superior stuff. So just stop existing until you are the same as me, please. Thank you.
Or you pay the 850 quid off a scalper.
Yeah.
Like, you go out of your way to be able to go and pay them. Graham will sort you out. He'll be able to get hold of another couple for you. And ask him as well. I've seen him trying to flog one for, believe it or not, cost price of how much he paid for it, and then still got ripped to fuck for it. But
absolute whopper.
You know what I mean?
He's an absolute whopper, to be fair, Mr. T. Absolute amateur skills. I mean, I make cash. I make bank when I sell my PlayStations. I sold and I got a profit of 1 pence the other day. So
yeah.
Making the paper.
It baffles me.
Actually, making the paper, making the coin, clink,
making the penny. But it's just at the end of the day, it's business. There's 120 million PlayStation 4s out there. Why would they alienate that market? I still have my play. Well, I don't at the moment because it's at Walker's. Like, he doesn't have a console. I've lent him a PS4. We played PGA together. But I've got a PlayStation 5. I have both consoles. If I really wanted to, I could take that back from him and play whatever game is going to be coming out on PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4 if I really wanted to. But why would I want other people to not have the opportunity to play the games?
Like, it's a simple reason, because you're a twat. That's the factual term. You would want that because you're a twat. There you go. Move ahead. That's it. Done. Nice. Jumping in the chat.
That's the title for the next podcast.
Yeah. Are you a twat? Question mark. Thinking
emoji.
Yeah. Okay. West says, NES for the win. Much better than Sega. Asim says that famous Sega does what Nintendo don't line. He hated it that much that he completed Super Mario Brothers. I mean, I wasn't going to play the games that. It's not like I was going to go, nope, it's my Christmas present. I'm not going to play it because it's not the one I want. I kind of had to do what I had to do. But we eventually got a SNES. We got one eventually. Yellow Pages for the win. This also doesn't make the PS5 less desirable, as I've seen some say. It's there for those who want to play these games at the best resolution and frame rate, should they have the means and wants to do so. It's like saying, why would you want the latest graphical card on your CPU and your PC? You can just play games on your old hardware. Well, because I want to play them at the best performance levels. Exactly. And that's the thing. There's this sort of elitism that comes with consoles that PC players obviously have grown up with. Like, we're talking PlayStation's. I mean, PlayStation kind of didn't help themselves by starting the narrative of we believe in generations, and then realizing that that's quite a good soundbite, but in practice, it's impractical for you and it's impractical for users, and it becomes even more impractical for everyone in a world of pandemic times. So yeah, okay, that's a little bit shit. So they didn't help themselves. So it's fair to say that PlayStation stoked the fires a little bit. That said, stoking the fires still doesn't give you a free pass to be a twat. You are still a twat if you believe in that sort of stuff. So there are twats, and PlayStation made verbal mistakes in their generation stuff. I do believe I was excited by the PlayStation's "we believe in generations" thing, because that, when you take it at base level, is we are going to give you content that uses everything in the next generation. That's what you want the generation for. Okay, nice. Okay, I'll take that. But I'm going to shut my window because I don't know if you can hear that. The lawnmower's outside. Nice.
Yeah, it sounds like someone's blending a knife. I have no idea what that is.
Lawnmower, there you go. So I like the generational statement from Sony, because that says we want to give you content that you've never had before, which is not a bad thing. But I also like Xbox's, well, everyone should be able to play. So it's getting the balance between the two. None of them are right and none of them are wrong. So if PlayStation wants to give you generational games, like Ratchet and Clank, but wants to give everyone the ability to play when possible, like God of War Ragnarok, nothing wrong with either of those options. Just play what you can play. If Ratchet and Clank is only available to the next gen because of hardware limitations, well, that's unfortunate for the people on PS4, but it was never going to be possible. You've not missed out. You were never going to get it. If God of War Ragnarok could be on the PS4 and they just didn't do it just because, then that's a shitty move, and that feeds the twats. So, yeah. Horizon Forbidden Mess sounds like a fun title. I did think I said that. I cocked up when I said it anyway. Horizon Forbidden Mess. There you go. Nice. PS4 market still big due to no one can get hands on a PS5. And that's it. I mean, let's forget the users as well. Business sense, as Bibby's mentioned as well. There you go. Mr. T's mentioned it. I don't even need to say it. As Bibby said earlier, it would be stupid for them not to release games for an audience for 100 million. PS5-wise, you'll still get them playing games and looking best on that console. Win-win. For sure. Asim is the hero we need, not the hero we deserve, says Tito. Some dude did offer me £700 for it in my DMs. I could have made bank. Stupid me. Did he really? Well. Anyway, that extra 200 quid trainers that you posted on Instagram the other day, they were pretty tasty. Nice. I see what you did there. Lovely. Back to that Sega line. Who'd have thought that would stretch to the concept of making consoles down the line? Well, there you go. My only concern with developing for previous gen consoles is, are they developing separate iterations that make the most of the hardware on offer, or are they doing a single version with added texture packs for new hardware? Given that consoles are developed for many years after they stop selling, I'm not sure we ever really see really true next gen. This is where Xbox have nailed it. Their hardware can accelerate games up to next gen without developer intervention. That's class. Sorry for the essay. God damn it. I'm not, do you know, it's so long. I'm not even going to, we've run out of time to respond to that comment, Tito. So sorry. Now, what your thoughts, baby?
I think they'll work from the top down, won't they?
Yeah.
They'll work. They'll make it PS5 worthy, and then they'll strip back the assets, so the resolutions of the textures won't be 4K. They'll trim them down to like 1080 or whatever. They might have to. I can't see them having two teams working on it. I think they'll just work from the top down. They'll just scrape off like the field of vision. They'll reduce that back. The textures, they'll reduce that back. The frames, they'll reduce that back, and just make it playable. That's essentially, I think, what they've done with the Nintendo Switch, with the likes of Wolfenstein and Doom and Skyrim, all these games that were top tier. Like, you play them on PC and you play them on your PlayStation or your Xbox or whatever, and these games are beautiful, stunning. The field of view is massive, like you can see for miles. But they'll just strip that back. I'm fairly certain that's what they did with the Wii U and the Nintendo Switch versions of Breath of the Wild. They just reduced all the textures and reduced the field of vision. Like, they just strip everything back so that it'll run without any hiccups and any hitches. But they'll work from the top and they'll just trim it down.
Tina says, I'm not a developer, but surely it's the other way around, as a level can only be so big. It can go both ways. It could be either way. You could develop a game for one and then see how you can extrapolate and build it for the other. But generally with something like that, it would be a case of if you're porting it to lesser hardware. So like Doom, for example. Doom was released on all of the major consoles and then came out on Switch afterwards at a lesser version. So it's about how you can get that full experience onto a lesser system. So I would imagine for that, it would probably be a case of they understand that the 4K texture packs will take shitloads of processing power and storage space or whatever, but they will know that, okay, we're building this for the last gen as well. We can make it so that texture packs can just be added and removed as like a module. So it's like turning on a light switch, bling, everything just looks bigger and brighter and vibrant. So the sizes of the levels, it's probably not that area where it's going to strip back. Because if you look at a PS5 game versus a PS4 game, things will look pretty similar, but it's all in the intricacies. So ray tracing will probably be removed. Well, definitely removed because last gen consoles can't do that. But ray tracing will probably be modular. They'll just go, okay, well, let's remove ray tracing. They can't have ray tracing. God of War is a story-ish game, so not something that needs instant scene changes. So Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, I am stood in my bedroom. I jump through this portal and I'm in Bibby's bedroom somewhere physically different. And the PS5 can load that. The PS4 can't. Whereas God of War doesn't really have that. So I think the type of game impacts on that. So I understand that is a genuine and logical fear, which is some people have that, okay, I am going to be hamstrung by the last gen. That's going to rubber band me. I can't run off into next gen because I'm always held back by the past, and that's a genuine fear. But the style of game massively impacts on that. Ratchet and Clank wouldn't happen, which is why it's not happening. God of War did happen, and exceptionally so on the last generation. So just adding next gen on top of that is probably not as difficult as it would be for something like, you think, okay, God of War, Game of the Year, super narrative, visuals are incredible. Ratchet and Clank, cartoony space thing, stuff, yay! Whereas that one technically is the more difficult game. So it depends on the games and how they're built in that sort of sense. Calgan Echo, good afternoon. How are you doing? Did I miss it? Well, you missed some of it, but you're here now. That's all that matters. You can watch it all back on YouTube anyway, or on Twitch on demand. Look at Formula 1 2021. It's been announced that both generations will have feature parity, and I think that's it. Something like God of War, Ragnarok. I mean, these features, the story is the feature. So as long as you've got the story, then and you can just tone things down. It's like playing on your PC. You can play on ultra settings or you can play on low settings. It'll kind of be that theory, because the generational gap between 4 and 5 isn't incredible. It's hardware components. So if you can do most of the story and stuff like that, that's fine. You can probably do that scaling back quite easily. It's just when things literally can't be done, like Ratchet and Clank. 2 worlds simultaneously at the same time, not going to happen. What was the other game? Was it not the Medium? Or maybe it was the Medium. The one where it had, maybe it wasn't. The one where it had like the sort of almost normal world, like Silent Hillish, and then there was like the underworld, and both played at the same time.
It was the Medium.
Oh, okay. So like that. I don't know if that was last gen or was that just next gen only? Because I mean, if it was last gen, that kind of isn't the point I'm trying to make. But things like that, having 2 worlds loading at once, you probably, to make that work on a PS4 and then a PS5, that might change things potentially, which is why we might not see that kind of stuff happening. But GT7, which we've had Gran Turismo games on the PS4, God of War, we've had God of War games on the PS4. It's just about taking that to the next level, if you know what I mean. You know what I mean? Nice. Yeah, cool. These teams for these AAA games are massive. Using God of War as an example, Santa Monica probably have 2 teams working the versions from a visual/tech point of view. That said, if smaller teams, as Bib said, they will work top down and trim the fat, shall we say? Exactly. I feel that fear is tied to what happened with Watch Dogs. It was due to come out on PS3, 360, PS4, Xbox One, and PC, and all pre-release stuff looked amazing. Then Ubisoft essentially made the older gen consoles the priority graphically. I mean, it probably is. I mean, there's been a few different conversations around that. I mean, there's all sorts of stuff in terms of the pre-release stuff. Is that finished gameplay? Because even though they may be playing that on a simulated PS4 on a PC, they're still not playing it in its true system. And when you actually put it into it, there could be issues that actually final gameplay, we've had to strip it back because it was never going to be that much. So yeah, there's all sorts of Was that Watch Dogs one the one where there was puddles and reflections, or was that a Spider-Man one? Because there's been all those sort of conversations and things. But yeah, it's a genuine fear, but it's not something that I think is something we kind of need to bear in mind for the major first-party titles. Worst case, just do not get God of War at launch and wait 3 months afterwards, and then Sony Santa Monica will probably deliver some mega patch, because that's kind of what they've been doing anyway. Oh, big patch, new textures, super lighting, super loading, really light, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, there you go. I mean, it's going to be good. It's going to be good. Even the PS4 version is going to be exceptional. The PS5 will be exceptional, but better. Sectional. Yeah, nice. I always expect delays, says Ads. This seems to be a trend now. Yeah, for sure. We are still on the arse end of a pandemic. I mean, are we on the arse end? We're still in a pandemic. We assume it's the arse end just because it's looking like we're at the end of it. Doesn't mean we're at the end of it. So yeah, it's going to be the way. Not only that, we're switching generations, which is difficult enough. We have 2 generations to build for, which adds difficulty. So we're having to get used to a new generation whilst doing everything that you did for the previous generation, and doing that in a new working environment. So yeah, expect delays. Point is, they penalise the PS4, Xbox One, PC versions graphically. But that's the thing, though. It has happened, and it also hasn't happened. So because it has happened, like I said, it's definitely a legitimate concern. But I wouldn't pin that. I mean, that's Ubisoft have made mistakes in that way, and we've seen it with Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk didn't prioritize the last gen, which is why it's so shit. So there's mistakes, like, by putting everything into it. Nothing is perfect, but a game coming out across both generations doesn't mean that it's destined for failure, or that rubber banding will take place, because there's been examples of games coming out across generation that have no problem. Spider-Man Miles Morales looks absolutely incredible on my PS5, and I'm sure if anyone's played it on the PS4, it probably looks okay there too. So, yeah, I don't feel like it's been hamstrung at all. But then again, you could say that's end of title. Anyway, all sorts of variables. Let's talk about other PlayStation games. We'll keep the conversation going. I'll just take the discussing down now while I jump into the next one, though, as this one is Days Gone developer Bend Studio says it's working on a new IP. We can't wait to show you what we've been working on, says the tagline. Matt Wales at Eurogamer has the story, and it says Bend Studio, perhaps best known as the developer behind 2019's post-apocalyptic bikes and zombies adventure Days Gone, has revealed it's working on a new IP, and they want you to buy it at fucking full price. No, it didn't say that. Days Gone, which initially launched on PS4, before making its way to PC earlier this year, was the studio's first crack at a new IP since its acquisition by Sony in 2000. Prior to that game, the developer was largely known for adapting the likes of Uncharted and Resistance for Sony's handheld consoles, the PSP and Vita. Announcing its next project in a statement on Twitter, Bend wrote, "We are beyond grateful for your support with Days Gone and are truly honoured by the amount of passion our community has shared with us for our world and characters. Your enthusiasm motivates us to continue to improve and create experiences that will last a lifetime." Quote, from the Siphon Filter series to Resistance, Retribution to Uncharted, Golden Abyss and Days Gone, it continued. We are very excited to announce today that we are expanding the Bend Studio portfolio with a brand new IP. Ben's announcement follows a report from Bloomberg earlier this year claiming the studio had pitched a Days Gone sequel to Sony in 2019, one that was ultimately rejected due to the original's lengthy development and mixed critical reception. In response to that news, almost 80,000 fans signed a petition asking for Bibby to finish the game. Oh, no, actually, no. Asking Sony to reconsider its stance on a sequel. They can't just pull the plug on such an amazing game that ended with a cliffhanger, as Bibby will never know. Its organizer wrote, there's no clue as to what Ben might have in store for its next project. Just one of 25 games currently in development by PlayStation Studios, according to studio head Herman Hulse. But the developer concludes, "We hope you embark on this new journey with us, and we can't wait to show you what we've been working on." Would you be interested in a new game from Ben Studios, Bibby?
Yes, Graham. Yes, I would. This has all been creeping back up again because Lewis, who you may remember, that's been on the channel various times playing a lot of games, he said this morning that his finished Days Gone just to rub it in my face. So yeah, that's something that I need to go back and play and, well, finish 48 hours later. I still not finished it, but yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've seen some fantastic games that have been named in the list: Siphon Filter, Resistance, Uncharted. All of these games. What else are we going to get? What else are we got? I'd love to see a new Siphon Filter, but that's not going to happen, is it? Sawmill, fuck off, Asim. I don't need this kind of negativity in my life.
Asim says, no, it's a question. Sawmill? I mean, Bibby's seen a lot of it. Yeah, he's seen loads of it. Seen too much of it.
Bastard.
Uh,
But yeah, absolutely. Hopefully we'll get. Well, I'm going to put my hat to the ring and say it's going to be a great game anyway. But we'll obviously wait to see more. That's being far too positive, I think, for the internet to handle. But I'm excited to see I'm excited to see what any publisher or developer is going to be putting out in the next 2 years, because with the new gen consoles, with the new graphics cards that are coming for PCs, we're in a place. The first 2 years of a console coming out, it's always hit and miss. It's never quite the power that you come to expect towards the later generations of the back end of a generation, shall we say. So it's always that little bit of a middle ground with the first 2 years of a console generation to see what comes out. But I mean, either way, games are games. You got to love them.
you gotta love them, especially the sawmill. As Asim says, the sawmill drove Bibby around the bend. Hey. Asman says,
I'm not doing this show again.
48 hours later, aka 2 days gone. Hey! I appreciate that.
I've just seen the ads have started it. You'll love it, mate. You'll love it. My own ego would not turn the difficulty down when I was playing it on hard. So my own ego wouldn't let me go down to medium to be able to finish the game. So I will eventually go back to it when I've to get past that stupid fucking sawmill. It must have been about 60 times that I tried that, and I still couldn't get past it. So I will go back and probably turn down the difficulty.
My difficulty ego's gone because I just don't have the time to play games anyway, because all my time's on PUBG. So when I do finally play a game, I'm a medium gamer these days anyway. So that's kind of it. Spider-Man medium, because I don't want it to be when I'm in a fight, I could stand in the middle of the road and just go, not that you shoot guns in Spider-Man, but pew, pew, just taking all the time, headshot, turns around, headshot. I don't want it so the baddies are just kind of like useless, but I don't want it to where I might have to do each segment 2 or 3 times kind of thing, because I want to get through it. I want to be speedy enough to get through it, but challenged enough. But yeah, I don't have the time these days, so just medium. Medium is fine. Medium is good. So that's
I started playing them on hard because there was a lot of games. I don't even know if games still do it anymore, but when you completed a game on hard, you unlocked all the achievements for doing it on easy and normal as well. So you get like 3 sets of achievements. Yeah. So you get like 3 sets of trophies or achievements for the price of 1. That's why I started playing games on hard and have to go back and do it again. But like Resident Evil, I'll start that on normal because it's fucking well hard to start on anything else. Asim knows. He started it on hardcore and got fucked up. But yeah, like you used to start it on hard and you used to open up all of the achievements that you'd get, all the trophies from the previous difficulties. So it was class.
Yeah, that kind of. Yeah, I always considered that to be like lazy achievement / trophy. Oh, finish it on medium, finish it on hard, finish it on super hard, and I was like, yeah, do you know what? I'll do it on 1, and you'll like it. That's all you're getting. Ads says Horizon has no release date. It doesn't, but that release date that hasn't been announced will be delayed probably at some point ish, maybe. I don't know. Too bad I missed that Battlefield COD thing, says Lake, who also said Hello Part 3, wherever it was. Is it a bit further up? I've lost it. I can't find it. But anyway, welcome in. The Battlefield COD thing was that Battlefield's studio directors have poached the general manager who's been working on COD. So the guy who's kind of overseen the Warzone stuff and COD Mobile success, they've poached him to lead up the Battlefield stuff. So that's what it was. It wasn't on the field, but it was overseeing the field. So potentially a good move for the future of Battlefield. Probably not going to impact too much on what we have for Battlefield 6 or whatever it's going to be. Has it been confirmed it's even Battlefield 6? Whatever it is. It's probably not going to impact on that too much now, but could impact on the longer-term strategy, which is where Battlefield needs to work. Battlefield is incredible when you're in the game, usually. Not flawless, not perfect all the time, does have mistakes, but the gameplay is usually great. It's just the longer-term strategy. It's like, yeah, the game's great, now what? Oh, fuck, we were focusing on making the game great. We didn't think about what we do afterwards. Okay, let's make on the next one. Boom, yeah, the game's great. Game's great? Nice, game's great. Now what? Yeah. And it's that sort of stuff. And hopefully someone like him coming in could paper those cracks in the middle. I've got 10 off, lads. Great stream. Take it easy. Chat later, says Gary Clark. Thank you very much, Mr. GC. Exclamation mark Garlic Clark in the chat. Thank you very much for the 9-month the Twitch baby. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. What a guy. Ad says UE5 looks amazing, by the way. In what context? Because we knew UE5 looked amazing a year ago, mate. Keep up, mate. But what makes you say that now? What makes you say that now? Have you tried the demo? What are you doing? What you doing? But do you know what? On that bombshell, we're going to wrap things up. Thank you, everyone, for sticking around. We are done with the news today. Let me give you a quick recap of the story as soon as we just started it for Lake there. EA hired Call of Duty's general manager to lead the Battlefield franchise. Byron Bede, who spent over a decade at Activision Blizzard working on Call of Duty and spent some time at Marvel working on their titles before that. We don't know what. It could have been Tea, Coffee, we don't know. But anyway, he has been poached by EA and has moved to that company. Nintendo has confirmed that they will be at E3 2021 on Tuesday, June the 15th. So ads is here now. We can mention that all of the Zeldas, although they haven't confirmed that, that's what we're kind of expecting. PlayStation have confirmed something, but not necessarily the kind of confirmation you want, but one you totally understand. God of War Ragnarok has been delayed. So it was due to come out at some point this year. It's now not coming out until next year. Same with Gran Turismo 7. That was confirmed already a few months back that that's been delayed. God of War Ragnarok has had the same phase. So it is coming not until next year, but it will also be coming out on the PS4 as well as the PS5. So if you've still not got a PS5 by then, don't worry, you can still play games. And then finally, from the Sony camp, Days Gone developer Ben Studio is working on a new IP. We don't know what it is, but it's a brand new IP. So we'll hopefully get some more news. Could we see that in the summer at one of the State of Plays? We're not going to see it at E3 because Sony aren't there, but in Sony's next State of Play, are they going to go big with new titles from Days Gone? Will we get some more information on Ragnarok? Potentially. Switch Pro, says Ads. Well, that's basically the gist of what the article was kind of getting at. But the rumor was that we'll see the Switch Pro before E3, so we can see games from some of the developers working on it. But their announcement comes on Tuesday, June the 15th, which is after everything will have been announced at E3. So that's where the conversation topic went there. Definitely worth going back and watching. Nice plug for the VOD or on the YouTube a bit later on today. Oh, wink, wink, fellas. Nice. Anyway, we are going to disappear. Maybe jumping on with some games this afternoon. I do have a bunch of stuff, though, so maybe not. But do you know what? The only way you can find out, really, or the best way to find out, is to follow the channel. If you are new here and you haven't followed already, do what Jude Cuss did an hour ago and hit that follow button. That way you do get notified when we go live. I could be jumping on with some games. I'm not 100% sure, but we will let you know. Before all of that, Mr. B-Bay, is there anything you want to add?
Yes. Thank you very much for watching today, ladies and gentlemen. Very much appreciate it. But if you want to help shape our show, there is 2 ways that you can do that. First of all, find us on social medias at Ice Cream Uploads across all major social media platforms. If you know what's put me off? Tito's just put them in the chat, and that's what I was about to move to. So if you are watching this for the first time and you're in our chat, please use those. If you are watching this on the video on demand, go into the description below. All the links that you will require are there for you. But if you want to get into our Discord, there is also an area there for you called The Scoop. All we need from you is a URL plus your thoughts and impressions. We will then give you our thoughts and impressions on the very next show and our final show of the week, which will be at what time tomorrow, Mr. Graham Day?
Well, just like today, it's going to be at 10 a.m. Ish. Big-ish today, 12:15. Close to 10-ish, ish. 10 a.m.-ish tomorrow. Tito says, what about the PUBG patch? I think the PUBG patch, is it not only PC, or is it the console one?
I thought it was only PC.
So I thought it was only the PC patch. Or maybe you meant changing scenes. This on my back. That's the PUBG patch. Hey! Yeah. Sorry, I've got it, mate. It's just there. Found it. Nice one. But yeah, I believe it's just PC. I'm going to go check, though. So if I do go live, maybe I'll jump on some PUBG. But if you follow the channel, you will know when we go live. For now, though, just because I'm not sure, we will drop a raid on someone else. So make sure you stick around for the raid. It helps out another channel, which is the best thing you can do on Twitch, but also you get yourself some channel points in the process, so you can make me sit up straight, or you can buy yourself a free sub if you stick around long enough, or all the other things in between. So make sure you stick around for a get your channel points, help someone out, and we all do good things together. Nice. If not, we'll see you at 10 a.m. Tomorrow if there's no streaming this afternoon. Until then, have yourselves a fantastic evening and stay frosty.